Welcome back, students. This is part 2 of today's lecture. Our next topic of discussion is overcoming these barriers. Okay, so how to overcome these barriers? Firstly, you must choose the right medium and right time for the information to be sent. If you have gone for a party and there someone comes and discusses the work of your office, then you will not take interest. So your personal attitude will act as a barrier that time. So everyone must keep in mind right medium and right time should be taken up for the deliverance of the message. Okay, usage of right kind of language or words, we should use proper words or proper usage of language should be taken care of. Next is your cultural barriers. I told you we have cultural diversity, so we must understand that also. Okay, then be courteous to all, we should give respect to all, we should encourage the open communication so that all of the subordinates and the colleagues should take part, should come forward to be a part of the communication. We should ensure two-way communication. Two-way communication means if I am speaking to you, you should also be alert and willing to take part in the communication. So this will be known as two-way communication. Next barrier, if you take care ki you should speak less and listen more, means you are giving chance to other also to speak, so it will be a better idea to increase the level of communication. For effective communication, take proper feedback. You must give chance to the one who is listening to you so that he may also express what he is feeling about the same topic. So you must take a proper feedback also. Next topic is your SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is basically required. Actually, what does this SWOT mean? It is a combination of four words. First is your strength. S stands for strength, W stands for weakness, O stands for opportunities, and T stands for threats. So this is what the SWOT means. So basically SWOT analysis is required to identify the strength and weakness of the communication network, and secondly it helps to overcome the challenges whatever are there in the society for a particular organization, to overcome those challenges or threats. Okay, this particular SWOT matrix will help us. Okay, so SWOT matrix parameters are opportunities. There may be opportunities or there may be threats. Okay, you may have strengths, you may have weaknesses. So if you have strengths, so you need to use those strengths to create your own opportunities. Okay, and if you have certain weakness, you should use opportunities whatever are coming to you so that you may overcome these weaknesses. You must create such strategies where you are overcoming these weaknesses. Threats and strengths means whatever are your strengths, there may be certain threats, so you must make some strategies to overcome those threats. Okay, whatever your weaknesses are, you are making strategies to overcome threats in that also. Okay, let us discuss them in more detail. SO strategies: pursue opportunities that are good to fit to the company's strength. Okay, you are making using your strengths to create opportunities for the benefit of the company. WO strategies, they will help you to overcome the weakness to pursue opportunities, means you will overcome the weakness to have more opportunities. Okay, ST strategies, they identify the ways in which the strengths may be used to overcome these threats, means you will be using the strengths to overcome the threats. WT strategies, they will help you to establish plans to prevent weakness becoming your threats, susceptible to threats. Your weakness may not lead to threats, you are making such strategies. So these strategies will help you to create a healthy environment that will help an individual or organization to achieve his or its goals. Okay, next topic is your session 2 is there. Next topic is importance of the communication skills. Why we should have the communication skills? Actually, these communication skills are very much important. How, if you are an individual and you are a part of organization, then they are required, you want to be a part of an organization, so they will be required at the entry level. Okay, when you will be entering into a job, that time your communication skills will be required. It may include your verbal, non-verbal, or listening skills. Okay, next, why your communication skills are required. When you have once you have entered the organization, there to build good interrelationship among your fellow friends, there you need to communicate with them, and there you need good communication skills. In an organization, effective communication skills of an employee leads to proper growth of the company. So if your skills are not good, then the company will also suffer because of that, and you will not be able to communicate properly with your fellow friends. So there will be conflicts in the organization that will lead to the decrease in the growth of the company. Okay, some of the frequently used one liners in the business communication. First one is good morning, good afternoon, good evening, may I help you. So we are using these types of languages for indicating, or for having good communication in the organization. May I know who is speaking? Thank you for calling. Thanks for your order. You might have seen these types of one liners being used while you are doing shopping, or when you are calling to a customer care. They are also using these types of things. Thanks for your order. Feel free to call or visit in us about anything. We appreciate your interest in our products. So these types of one liners are very commonly being used in the business communication. So our next topic is, this is session 3, methods of communication. What are the types of communication? On the basis of the communication, we have divided into it in 3 types. One is on the basis of channel, and second is on the basis of your direction, and third is on the basis of the means we are using. So communication has been classified into three parts, 3 types actually, which is further subcategorized as these. Okay, so firstly we'll be discussing on the basis of channel how communication can be classified. So it can be classified as formal and informal communication. Formal communication, in this a pattern is acceptable, means it will occur in a particular pattern. Okay, you need to, like, if you are coming to school, I'm taking attendance in the register, so this is formal type of work I'm doing. Okay, so certain formalities are to be fulfilled for communicating. If you want to tell your principal about any problem of your school, what you are doing, you are writing a application, so you are using a formal way of communication. Okay, this is also known as business or corporate communication. Next, it involves the usage of meetings, conferences will be taken up, okay, in the organization. Now if two strangers, example of this formal communication is two strangers who have never met before, they are meeting for the first time, how they will communicate? They will communicate formally. Okay, and this communication follows straightforward, rigid and precise and official approach. Okay, now next type of communication is informal communication. Informal communication, as you are meeting your friends, as you are meeting your family members, two persons are meeting who are having same interests, so they, how they will be communicating. So this type of communication will be known as informal communication. There will be no rigidity. Here it was rigid, na, rigid, there were guidelines how to interact, how to work. So here there is no rigidity, there is no guideline, there are no restriction of time and place. Here the meeting will be decided on this time you need to come. Here there is no restriction on the time and place. Okay, or examples of informal communication can be online chats that you are doing, long telephonic conversation that you are doing with your friends or families. Okay, now second criteria, on the basis of direction. we can classify the communication in 4 types. One is your upward communication, second is your downward communication, third one is your horizontal communication, and fourth one is your diagonal communication. So we'll be reading about them one by one. Upward communication, it means it allows from lower level to upper level of the organization hierarchy. Means like an employee goes to his boss for certain type of thing. So this type of communication is known as upward communication, where a lower level employee is talking to his upper level boss. Okay, so what are the benefits of it? Means if the junior level employee is able to talk to his senior one, so it encourages active participation of the employees in the departmental activities. Okay, and secondly, the subordinate develops a sense of responsibility and enthusiasm also. Okay, if you are not able to talk to your seniors, they are not listening to you, then you will not feel connected, you will not have any sense of responsibility, you will not be enthusiastic. Okay, so this will really help in active participation, in the sense of responsibility and enthusiasm of a particular employee. Downward communication is the second type of communication. Here the flow is from top to the bottom, means upward to the downwards. Like you receive or the employees receive messages from the superiors, like they are sending messages, or they are sending notices, they are sending assignments to their juniors. So they are sending to their juniors, so top to bottom, upward to downward. So this type of communication will be known as downward hierarchy. Okay, horizontal hierarchy means at the same level. Let us suppose we are organizing computer department is organizing a seminar. So for seminar we need the help of your arts department also, so we will be communicating to arts department for our help. So different departments, they are communicating together to coordinate the activities. Okay, for the betterment of the organization. Fine, thank you.